Hey guys, Michelle here, Michelle Beckner Family Wellness. How's it going? I'm trying to find the camera. Welcome to the Happy Mama Healthy Baby live show, episode 5. Yay! So today, well, let me tell you about how this works, I guess, if you've never seen my show before. So Tuesday nights, I'm here after bedtime around 7:30, 8 o'clock, talking about Happy Mama stuff. And Friday afternoons, I'll be back talking about healthy baby stuff. So what do? I help moms take care of themselves mentally and by eating right, taking care of themselves just all around, so they can take care of their babies by feeding them well and right. So yeah, today we're talking about happy mama stuff, and we're going to talk about meditation. So don't let that scare you. This is actually meditation, something big that I actually attribute to the fact that I had two all-natural, unmedicated births. I won't say easy or painless, but I had two really super, I guess, easy as far as births go. For both of my babies, labor was like less than an hour. I pushed like one time for both of them, and I seriously attribute a lot of that to meditation. So yeah, there's some motivation for you, right? It works. I really believe it. So I guess a little bit of like my story, how I'm not like super meditation guru or anything, but how I got into meditation. My first experience with meditation was with my mom when, I don't know, like I was 7 or something maybe. My mom's like super awesome. And she was like, she's always been into like Deepak Chopra and all that fun stuff. So I just have a memory. I don't know if we did it more than one time. Maybe if my mom's watching, she can leave it in the comments. I don't know if it was once, or I feel like I remember doing this a lot, but it was probably maybe just one time. Anyway, I have a memory of me and one of my best friends at the time sitting on my mom's lap, I think listening to probably like some Deepak Chopra or something, guided meditation. And seriously, my mom, I guess, was thinking that 2 7-year-old girls could sit and meditate with her. I know that I was like so not into it, but I remember my friend, like, she was a little bit more into it, but I was just like, oh my God, I want to move. So that's my first experience with meditation. And then I probably didn't really do anything with it until I was maybe in college, and I started doing yoga at the Yoga Loft in Bethlehem, PA. If anybody watching has been there, knows about it, then give me a thumbs up. I know my friend Liz knows, because that's where we would always go, yoga Tuesdays or Thursdays. I think it was yoga Tuesday, champagne Thursday, right? Anyway, so like yoga, that's my next experience with meditation. So that kind of is encompassed all around, but like especially at the end when you lie in Shavasana or corpse pose or whatever. So that kind of taught me exactly what it meant to meditate, I guess. It's not necessarily clearing your mind, but just like clearing out anything that's bothering you. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then, yeah, so I would just do meditation from yoga class, and then I wasn't really into it at all until I was pregnant with my daughter Genevieve. When I was probably like halfway through my pregnancy, I decided I wanted to have a natural birth. So, like reading, I don't know, I downloaded like the Hypno Babies book, and I didn't read it until I was like in labor. But yeah, so I knew that I needed to prepare myself, like not just physically for labor, but mentally too. So that's when I like really started a meditation practice. So I kind of like, I would just start by closing my eyes and picturing my happy place. So I kind of made it up in my head like I was in the forest, I was looking up at the trees with the sunbeams shining through, and so I would just kind of visualize that whenever I sat down for a few minutes to meditate. And this was like the second half, or maybe even like the 3rd trimester of my pregnancy. I really tried to do it as often as possible. So I really, really attribute that to the fact that my birth was like super speedy, because my brain was trained to go into this like relaxing, meditative, happy place state, right? And then again, when I was pregnant with my second, it was much, much harder to to find that time to meditate. And then I found it really funny because I started trying to do it again, picturing my same happy place, but then it just kept bringing back memories of labor. I was like, wait a second, this isn't working. So I kind of had to switch up what I was doing a little bit. I did some more guided meditations. It's pretty easy, just go on YouTube. And like for pregnancy, I would just search guided meditations for pregnancy, and you can find some really great ones or like some really weird ones, whatever works for you. So yeah, and then ever since then, I've just been trying to do it. It kind of comes and goes, but I try to do it like every afternoon after lunch is what I feel like works best for me. If you've talked to anybody who meditates, usually they say to do it first thing in the morning, but I always fall asleep when I do that, so it doesn't really work for me. But yeah, a lot of people do it like 10 or 20 minutes in the morning and then 10 or 20 minutes at night, so whatever works for you. So anyway, enough about me. I would just want to be real quick here. So yeah, let's give like some tips about meditating. So I already did a couple, right? So like one is visualizing your happy place. It could be anything, anywhere. It could be a place you've been to. It could be a place you want to go to. It could be like a complete fantasy land or whatever. And that kind of meditating is kind of fun because it like gives you something to keep your brain busy, and you can like build onto it every time. So that's cool. What else? Breathing meditation is like a really, really good way to like stay focused. So just count your breaths, take some deep breaths. I like to count like 1 on the in-breath and 2 on the out-breath. Some people like to count up to 10 and then back down, or some people like to count down from 50. Basically, count however you want, but the point of that is just to give your mind something like easy to think about so that it's not drifting off thinking about all these other thoughts that are making you worried or upset or whatever is going on. You kind of want to just let all that go. And then I guess on that note, another good thing to visualize when you're meditating is, this might sound like a little funky if you're not into meditating, but this I learned from one of my yoga teachers, is you visualize yourself breathing in light and happiness, and then breathing out like anything inside that's bothering you. You can picture it as like a dark cloud or whatever, but any kind of thoughts that are bothering you, or any thought that like comes through your head, don't worry. Like, the purpose of meditation isn't necessarily to like completely clear your mind, because that's impossible unless you're like some totally enlightened monk that lives up in the mountains maybe. The point is to just, whenever you do get a thought, to just like let it pass, or visualize breathing it out or something like that. Like, you can acknowledge it, be like, oh, I probably shouldn't be thinking about that right now, I need to relax, and then just like let it go. And then hopefully, like, if it's something important, it'll come back to you later. But meditating is not the time to be like going through your to-do list and stuff like that. Another way I like to meditate, if you guys have watched my show before, you know I like to walk all the time, especially when it's nice out, or kind of only when it's nice out. So I kind of call it like my walking meditation. So I'll usually start by just kind of clearing my mind as much as possible, like doing the counting, like counting my steps or my breathe, like start doing some deep breaths, and then usually I'll, like, when I'm doing a walking meditation, a lot of times it's when I'm like trying to figure something out, or if I'm trying to figure out like what to write in my next newsletter or whatever. So I'll enter it with like that mindset of like a question that I want to answer. So then I'll start out, like focusing on breathing or walking, or just like the scenery or the sounds, and then magically, like towards the end, ideas, not always, but usually just start like flowing and through my head and pop into my head. So sometimes I've literally, like, if I have my phone with me, I'll like take it out and like record a voice note if it's like something amazing that I don't want to forget. But that's another easy way to meditate, is just to walk, focus on your steps, focus on the sounds, focus on nature, like focus on anything except for what's bothering you. What else is a good way to meditate? Those are like the main ways that I do. So guided meditations are great. YouTube stuff. my grandma introduced me to Honest Guys meditations. I like them, so look them up. And then there's a couple different apps. The only one that I've tried is called Headspace. I've just tried like the free version of it. But I really like that because it teaches you, like the meditations aren't super, but it teaches you some good tips on like how to get into it. It's really, really good for beginners who've never done it before. And yeah, okay, so we said walking meditation, guided meditation, focusing on your breathing, finding your happy place, that's like visualizing. So yeah, those are some of my favorite ways to meditate. If anybody here has meditated before, leave a comment. Tell me how you like to do it. Or if you try it for the first time, let me know. I'd love to hear how it goes. Last thing, I just want to say, it's not going to be easy for the first few times. You're probably going to be sitting there like, oh my God, I have so much to do, or like I'm uncomfortable, or like your thoughts will just be racing and you'll feel like this is crazy, it's not working. But that's why you hear all the time, that's why it's called a meditation practice. It really, really takes practice. Like if I only meditated a couple times before I went into labor, then it wouldn't have done anything for me, right? So I needed to practice doing it. Give your mind that exercise. It's like you can't go to the gym once a month and expect to like get ripped, right? Like you have to do it consistently for it to actually pay off. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. So anyway, I'll let you go. I don't like to be too long, even though I always end up talking for a long time. Last thing, I guess, so meditation is one of my tricks, I guess, to being a calm mom. So that's check in, accept, love yourself, and meditate. So last week we talked about loving yourself, self-care kind of stuff. This week we talked about meditation. So if you want to see more about my Calm Mom guide, just click, I think I put a link to it. So click that link, just give me your email, and I'll send it right over. So yeah, I'll be back Friday talking about happy baby stuff. I absolutely have no idea what I'm going to talk about this week. If you have any ideas, either starting solids or maybe like breastfeeding nutrition, which I've been focusing on a little bit more lately, let me know. Send me an email or write it in the comments and I'll be sure to talk about it. All right, everybody enjoy your Tuesday night and I'll see you back here on Friday afternoon. See ya.